So I just had the craziest heroes versus villains match today. So I used Obi-Wan and my teammates were Luke, Yoda, and Anakin. And normally I'm not that good at heroes versus villains, but I decided to play for fun, you know? And we were up against Palpatine, Grievous, Vader, and Dooku. Very hard to defeat. Dooku's really good at dueling. Grievous and Vader can be very hard to kill, and Palpatine's is going to be annoying. So I'm just running around like a fool. Yoda has just gone inside the facility. Anakin, like always, and like in the actual Star Wars universe, is just running around. While I'm just looking at Luke's very creepy-looking eyes in Battlefront 2. I don't know why it looks like that. So I decided to get a little bit of the high ground advantage. Okay? Although I fall off the Camino cloning move, and I see a lot of red lightsabers, and Dooku is right there. So me and Luke approach Dooku. I miss the force push, but I do get my mind trick on, and I try lunging in Dooku, but like always, for some reason, I can't get my lunge to Dooku. I try doing like the hook swings and try practicing them, but I am very bad at doing that. And me and Luke kind of 2v1 Dooku, because for one, Luke is on low health. I lose my stamina, and then Vader comes in out of nowhere, like when you hand your big brother the controller, and he absolutely destroys me. And things are not looking good. However, shockingly, the score is still equal, and while I'm dead, we are actually winning 33-32. Somehow, I have no idea how. And it looks like I'm again reunited with my teammate Luke, and we see Palpatine's Force Lightning and Darth Maul Force chokes Luke. Me and Luke, just like how the light said should be, stay back. Well, I'm just staying back, and I'm trying to find Maul. However, Luke is able to defeat Darth Maul, and I'm just running around. Palpatine is on very low health, and I use the mind trick, but unfortunately Palpatine's already been killed, and all of us are just staying together, because that is the main thing in HvV. If you don't stick together in HvV, you're gonna get tag teamed on. My lunge fails to hit Vader, but there's also Boba Fett, and I'm getting blinded because of Boba Fett. And now all three of us are fighting Darth Vader, which isn't surprising because Vader is very OP in Battlefront 2, and I somehow managed to defeat Darth Vader, forgetting how to block in this game. And I kind of camp around in a corner because I am almost dead, and everyone runs outside. I try to run inside, and I see that Yoda and Dooku are apparently also having a fight here. However, I see Iden Versio, and I know things are going to get very toxic very fast, because Iden Versio is not going to leave Yoda alone. So I try to finish off Dooku. I get the force push, sending Dooku flying backwards, and Yoda's fighting Dooku, and Iden Versio's been defeated. That's right, Luke's defeated Iden Versio. Dooku comes charging him, he gets the Force Lightning, and Luke gets the Force Push, making this a very funny situation like in Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan and Anakin's Force Pushes hit each other. I try to attack Dooku with my defensive lunge. I get Force Lightning in the air, and Darth Vader joins the fight too, and so does Palpatine. Luke gets finished off, and I am now surrounded in 3v1, and like your average heroes versus villains dead, you just get tag teamed on, which is not fun. So far, it's not looking too good for me. I have done quite a bit of things, killed some people, done some damage, but overall, I'm not really doing that well when it comes to just crazy moments. However, I decided to reunite again with Luke. He's being one of my most favorite teammate in this match, and I force push Darth Maul in the air. Dooku is on low health. Darth Vader comes in out of nowhere. This is exactly like a battle royale. Maul gets killed. I use my mind trick, and I follow Dooku, and I try to kill Dooku as fast as I can, because Dooku has bad health regeneration. But first, I have to regenerate my stamina, accidentally fall down. So I try to kill Dooku because Dooku's health regeneration is really good, and my health regeneration is also very good. So I try to fight Dooku, but Darth Vader and Kylo Ren joins the fight too in a 3v1. So Dooku gets killed, and I use my defensive lunge this time in defense to run away. And it looks like Yoda is apparently chasing Darth Maul, and we're just having an epic 2v2. Kylo Ren gets defeated, Darth Maul's fighting Luke, and I decide to finish off Darth Maul just like how Obi-Wan would in an actual Star Wars project. And Luke is staring down Darth Vader, who's fighting with one of our teammates. I try to go and run in to save my teammate, but it looks like Han Solo's actually managed to defeat Darth Vader in a 1v1, and Yoda's passive ability gives all of us more health. And now Palpatine tries in to kill all of us in a 3v1, which is stupid, and I force push Palpatine out of the map, which is one of the most hilarious deaths in all of Star Wars. And I have just ruined all of Palpatine's plans by force pushing him into the waters. And Now it's Dooku who's on low health, but somehow he's able to block and parry all of our hits. Dooku falls in the air, Darth Maul joins the fight, Luke is on really low health, and I have no stamina at all. So I try to lunge back, get some stamina back. I get electrocuted by Dooku. I need to get my health regeneration. Kylo Ren is also watching the fight. Sorry, that was Darth Vader. Actually, they just look very similar in this game. But anyways, I use my defensive lunge. I kill Dooku, but his force lightning knocks me down, and Vader attacks me from behind before being absolutely yeeted. And we are dominating this match. The villains are at 17. They are not doing good at all. We have a very big advantage, but HvV is very unpredictable, and so unpredictable that I almost fall off the entire map, which it happens quite a bit in Camino. However, I almost fell off the map with no enemy, and I see an enemy on my mini-map, so I decide to follow to my teammates, and I find Han. And Han is having a standoff with Boba Fett. However, Boba, for some reason, is not flying around in the air, so he is just gonna be the easiest kill of the century for me. Because for some reason, Boba is very bad in this game in the ground. I mean, you can just kill him with a few lightsaber strikes and a force push, and I decided to have a duel with Darth Maul, who was trying to kill my teammate with Han. So I'm having the duel with Darth Maul, and Maul's desperately trying to charge in and kill Han. However, Luke is there, and Yoda's passive ability gives me and our teammates much more health. Darth Maul's force choke sends me in the air and on top of the headquarters. I jump in the air and almost kill Darth Maul in the coolest way possible. Han Solo is also running around, and Yoda joins the fight. I see in a force push, and Yoda's force push actually sends Maul flying out of the map, which is a funny force push combo. And again, Darth Vader joins in the fight, and like always, we are just tag teaming on Darth Vader, and Vader falls off the map. And then we are all just kind of having fun and running around the map, goofing around. However, then we see an explosion, and it's Iden Versio with her stupid secondary fire. I decide to lunge in, which is unusual Obi-Wan behavior, and Darth Maul is there to protect Iden Versio. However, I sacrifice all of my health to finish off Iden Versio. However, I am taking a lot of damage from Darth Maul, and I am on 8 HP, but somehow still alive. I try making a run for it, but Darth Maul times his saber throw perfectly, and it kills me, ending my good streak over there. And now I try to rejoin with my teammates again, because I'm very far from them and inside the facility, and then I see Luke literally fall and jump off the map on purpose. So Luke must have had a midichlorian loss there or something, or he must have had opium, because that is just insane. Okay, he should not have died there. And then I see Yoda standing off against Darth Vader. I emote with the hello there. Vader force chokes me. Dooku uses force lightning. However, I jump in at the right time. Dooku uses expose weakness to slow me down. After fighting Dooku, and Yoda and Luke are here, and Vader's here, who is on very low health, but Dooku is protecting Darth Vader, and I get defeated. All of a sudden, the villains, despite having only 10 more points left, they're still doing pretty decent and are trying to make this gap smaller and smaller before they can make it even again. However, we are not going to let that happen, or at least we're trying not to make that happen. Han is being force choked, and my force push pushes Vader and Maul in the air. However, we're also taking fire, and we're trying our best, and we're actually trying to attack Boba Fett, and Yoda is now having a duel with Count Dooku, but then I die yet again. However, I just realized something. I got a lot of battle points in this lobby. I am getting a ton of battle points, and this could be genuinely one of my best Heroes vs. Villains maps, or my best Heroes vs. Villains lobbies, because normally I don't really get a lot of battle points, I'm just the bait. And then I see one of our enemies running around, and it's Kylo Ren. So I'm just following right behind him, being very cheeky. However, it was a trap. It's a trap, because I'm trying to fight and duel with Kylo Ren. However, then everyone else joins in Dooku and Maul, and I jump up, survive on 20 HP with force lightning, and I stay on top of the Camino cloning facility. I perfectly block and parry all of Dooku's hits and kill him, and I'm just camping on top of this roof on low health. Kylo Ren tries to jump up and get me, and he actually jumps up here, and my mind trick, I try to kill Kylo, pretty close, but I sadly lose my stamina, causing Kylo Ren to defeat me. However, the gaps between the villains is getting even and even bigger, because the villains only have 6 more points left, and they are in a dire situation right now. So victory is almost guaranteed for us heroes. I decide to jump up the facility, and I see more enemies. And in fact, I am surrounded completely by a ton of enemies, but with no teammates, sadly. It's 3 enemies. However, I'm jumping around and getting behind them, which is while they're just swinging their lightsabers around like a maniac. My force push knocks the both of them down, and Luke is here to save the day, just like always. And also Lando is also here too, and he's the one to defeat Darth Maul, while all the other villains here are dead. So now me, Luke, and Lando are staying together, while the villains now only have 2 survival points, which is very pathetic because just now they were 6. And then Han's also shooting General Grievous. He uses his ability to swing the lightsabers. However, I know how to deal with this and just strike him from the behind with my lightsaber. And now the villains only have 1 survival point left, meaning we just need to kill 1 more person. And then we find Palpatine. I'm just aura farming because I know we're gonna win unless something unnatural happens. Palpatine's defeated, and we win the HvV lobby. It's victory for us heroes, and we've won on Kamino. But now's the big question: how well did I do? I was second among the best hero in this lobby, and in the leaderboard positions, I actually finished in the top 3 with over 10,000 points, and I was only behind by a little bit because of Darth Vader and just killing everybody, and because blaster heroes get more points than lightsaber heroes in these type of game modes. But anyways, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.